session. So let you know that my name is Hillary Ritt, and I'm the Workforce and Adult Services Consultant with the Kentucky Department for Libraries and Archives. And this is the Go Fishing webinar. I'm so excited to have with us today Amanda Quint. She is with the McCracken County Public Library in Paducah, and Andrew Woldridge, who is with the Department for Fish and Wildlife. And both of them are going to talk about the fishing pole loaner program, or fishing rods to be more correct. So they're going to share with us about that. And I'm going to stop sharing this introduction slide and then put up Amanda's slide. So I just want to let you know that I'll do a little quick switcheroo here on the slides, and we will get started with Amanda's part of the presentation. And I'm also going to stop sharing my video so that you can see Amanda and the slides. But please feel free to type any questions in the chat that you have. And Amanda, before I get started, let you get started, I do want to let you know that if you have any questions, you can put those in the chat. These slides and any for both of the presenters are available in the Blackboard Collaborate session in the portal, so you can access them there. This is being recorded today, so that's going to be available to you after today's session sometime in the next week or so, and that'll be available to you. And then captions are available a couple of ways, and they are being we have a live captioner here with us today, but you can also access captions via the stream text link I'm getting ready to drop in the chat. So you have a couple of options for them there. And I will stop and let Amanda stop talking and let Amanda take it away. Thank you, Amanda.
Thank you, Hillary. So I'm Amanda Quint, and I am from the McCracken County Public Library. And so we have been doing the pole loaner program, the rod and reel combo program, for about a year now. And through Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife, they so graciously have aided us in having this program, and we really appreciate it. And it's really taken off. Really, it's been a huge success so far. I came from the Metropolis Public Library previously. I've been at this library in McCracken County for, as of next week, 3 years now. I came from the Metropolis Public Library, and we had a similar program there, and it went over well. So I thought that I would bring this program with me and see how it did here, since I fish so much, and I just thought that I would bring my love of fishing with me. So, and thankfully it has really taken off, and I'm so glad to see that, because a lot of people, people should, get into fishing, and it's a really good pastime, and more people should, just take part in it, and sometimes get away from technology. So, and this is where it all began. So I'm gonna go to the next slide here. So we started out with, this is Brent McCarty with the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife. I met up with him, and he brought along 16 rod and reel combos and some hooks and bobbers and some little split shot weights, just to get us started. Going to the next slide. I accidentally hit it, sorry. So we started out, this is our display that we have. We just ordered a standing rod holder for the library, and we've moved it several times, trying to find the right place for it. And we usually have about 8 to 10 rod and reels sitting on it at all times, and they stay checked out pretty much all the time. We keep a close watch on it just to make sure that the hooks stay closely, tucked in, no little fingers get pricked on, on the hooks. And when someone does choose a rod and reel that they have to sign an agreement. I don't know how the other libraries do it, but they have to sign an agreement saying, that they are liable for, the equipment, that if it comes back broken, or, mishandled, that they do have to pay for it. We are a fine-free library, but, if it does come back damaged, they are responsible for it. And we also give out tackle packs, a mini tackle pack, and that includes, a few little hooks and lures and can you all hear me? I don't know if y'all can hear me okay. I hope so.
Yes.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Okay. Anyway, it's just a little, little miniature. It's just a little small tackle pack. It's nothing extravagant. It's a little envelope that has, the minimum in it, and that's what mainly. And the library has purchased some things, but this is mainly what the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife has donated, along with the rod and reels. So, and I've got a picture of that as well. See here, it might be on down the line here. I'm going to go to the next slide. Well, it's on down, but anyway, moving along as I digress. So this is another picture of our display, and how we have our our setup with our rod and reels. Our barcodes on our rod and reels, we figured the best place to put our barcodes to scan in order to let the rod and reels go out of the library, to keep them safe and dry, is near the handle. That way that they're not handled a lot, or the least amount of the most, and that way that they don't get wet, touch, that sort of thing, is near the handle. And they're taped on really well. So, and that seems to be working. I don't know about the other libraries that that have the rod and reels, but that's working for us so far, thankfully. So moving along. And we've also we've purchased additional rods since this has taken off so well. And you're going to have the rod and reels that don't come back, that get damaged. You're going to have that. That's just part of it. So we've also purchased additional rod and reels, and a few heavier dutier ones. So along with that being said, that we purchased a wall mounted rack that we have tucked behind a door in our tech services department, as you can tell, that we bolted to the wall, and that seems to be working out really well. That's kept out of the way. And so there's a lot to consider if you're going to start this program at your library. So do you have, or will you have? And this is what we have and what our plan is. Okay, so things to consider. Okay, do you have public ponds, lakes, or water sources for fishing? And what we're blessed, we really are, because we have the Bob Noble Park Pond, which is at Noble Park here in Paducah. We have the Kentucky and Barkley Lakes and the Ohio River, like right literally in our back door, basically. We have Kentucky and Barkley Lakes is like 45 minutes from Paducah, and the Ohio River is literally like 2 blocks from the library. It's at the foot of Broadway. And do you have, or will you have, what are your set ages going to be for checking out these combos? And our set ages are adults 18 and over with a card, but children with a card may check out with a parent's written consent, and it's one pole per card. And do you have or will you have someone to assist with, answer questions, do maintenance, repairs, as well as order your tackle and make tackle packs? And we have a couple of other staff members and myself, to do this. So will you have the storage for extra rods and reels, the tackle and the tackle packs? And like you saw in the previous slides, we have the wall racks in the tech services work area. And then we have the tackle and tackle packs are stored in filing cabinets, file drawers, that sort of thing. So these are serious things to consider. It takes up room. You're going to have to think about a budget, because you are going to have to, the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife just can't keep, forking out, rods and reels, and you're going to have to buy lures because they don't have the lures if you're going to do this. And the patrons can, but they're going to look at you like, well, what am I supposed to do? How am I going to catch these fish? Yeah. So anyway, but just to get them started, it's a nice thing to have. So just to and the line, to put on the to keep on your rod and reels, they have to be maintained, changed out, that sort of thing, cleaned. You've got to have someone to do all that. So there's a lot of consideration that goes involved with this. So I'm going to move on along. Get educated. Okay, so if your library partakes in this program, it is important to get familiar with the equipment, like I said, for your staff members to educate themselves with basic fishing skills, just even like we really stress to our patrons that they need to obtain a fishing license. That's first and foremost, that they need to get a fishing license. If you are over 16, you need to have a fishing license. So that's, you don't want to get in trouble. You don't want to get caught fishing without a fishing license. So that's a very important thing. And if a patron needs help, like they have no idea how to tie a basic, like angler's knot, or, that if they have no clue, they're going to need help with that sort of thing. And they want someone to show them how to do it. So it's good to have someone on hand to, just to give them the basic skills to show them how to do that, or how to, put a jig on, to put a lure on a hook, and, just the basics, how to pinch a weight on, how far do you put a weight on, how far up do you put a weight on, up the hook, above the hook, just little things like that. We've had a lot of mothers with, that their kids want to fish and the moms have no idea what they're doing, and they come here because they don't want to go out and, spend a boatload of money on something that they don't know if their kids are going to stick with it or not. So just to give it a shot, they come here first. So, and that's, this is a good trial and error thing for them. But we're the library, and we offer free resources. That's our thing. So this is one of the resources that we offer, and a lot of people have really partaken in this this program, and it's a good thing, and we try to keep it up, and our staff involved and educated is an important thing. I'm going to move along here. Offering the pole owner program opens new doors for other organizations to get involved and invites new opportunities. We have had a couple of organizations we've gotten involved with this past summer, the farmers market. We took our pole owner program to our local farmers market here in Paducah. We sat up and took our rod and reels down there, and people had no idea that we did this, and they were pleasantly surprised that we did. And we had some folks fill out some library cards, and they came to the library and checked out a fishing pole, and they really were excited about it. So that was a good thing. And the Discovery Museum down by the river, they have a summer day camp, and they called us, and they had us do a fishing program for the kids at the day camp, and they were super excited about that. The kids were over the moon about fishing at the river. So I loaded up about 13 fishing rods, and we all walked down to the river, several adults and 13 kids, and we went fishing, and they had the biggest time, and they could have cared less if they caught a fish. It was just, they were out fishing, and that was a huge thing for them, and they loved it. And that just, they all love to fish now, and that brought the biggest smile to their faces, and they did not want to leave. So that's a picture. The picture on the left is me with these kiddos at the river fishing, and that big old cruise ship. We all about jumped out of our skin. So, but we had the biggest time that day. We were all exhausted, and we had so much fun. And the picture on the right is myself and my coworker Maya, and that was us at the farmers market when we took the rod and reels to the farmers market, and that was such a fun day. We had a great time and talked to a lot of people, and that was just a good day as well. So moving along. Now this is our mini take-home tackle kit, and it is just a few lures and hooks and some little split shot weights, and the little bobber kit is from the Kentucky Fish and Wildlife, and those are really neat because they eat the little state of Kentucky on the bobbers. So those are pretty cool. And they get to keep those. They don't have to bring those back. So I'm going to move on along. And keeping track of the number of checkouts per rod and reel. It's a good idea to keep an idea on how many times your rods and reels go out. Monitor the line usage, the wear and tear on your equipment over time. Like anything else, you know, maintenance and repairs have to be done, like I was talking about. You need to keep watch on your eyelets, which is, you know, your little eyelets, which, you know, what your line runs through on your fishing pole, your rod. Making sure that they're in good shape, nothing's broken, and the inside of the eyelet's okay. If there's porcelain inside, that it's still intact. Just making sure everything's in working order, and that your reel is nice and clean on the inside and greased. So there's quite a bit involved. So just, you know, doing your homework and doing research, and just we had we had a rod and reel return that was someone had broken a rod and taped it back together with black electrical tape. So you know, like we wouldn't notice that. We noticed that. But that was interesting. But in that case, they got, you know, we're going to charge for something like that. You know, I mean, that's one of those things. Sometimes, you know, there's a lot of things that there's, you know, a library will forgive, but in something, in a case like that, no, you know, come on now. So anyway, I'm going to move on along here. Okay, so this is probably the fishing stories of all fishing story, and this was a doozy. And this is an all-time fishing story. This happened to me on Memorial Day weekend when I was fishing. I caught an owl. I was casting out, and in midair, my lure, lo and behold, this owl had been sitting in a tree watching me fish, and this owl swooped down and snagged my lure. And well, he was trying to grab it. I guess he thought it was a mouse or a bat, but he caught it, but it snagged one of the treble hooks. A treble hook has 3 hooks for treble, you know, but one of the hooks snagged into his foot, and he landed over to the side, and I could not believe what had just happened. And I called my boyfriend, and I told him, I said, I caught an owl and I need your help. He didn't believe me. And this pond is right across the field from our house. And I said, I need your help, like, like super fast. So I'm gonna need some needle nose pliers and a coat to cover this owl with. I don't know what to do. Should we call, you know, the park ranger or like the game warden? It's Memorial Day weekend. What are we supposed to do? And I said, I need pliers and a coat to cover him up with. We got to do something so we can get this hook out, and probably some bourbon or something for me and him. I'm kidding, but anyway. But so anyway, we covered the owl up and got the hook out of his foot. Believe it or not, it was not hooked really bad, but he took 2 hops and flew right back up in that tree. Thank goodness everything was fine, and that is the craziest fishing story I have. So there's that. And I could not believe he didn't panic and he didn't get like, you know, like angry or, you know, just mean or anything. He looked at me like, okay, we're in trouble. I'm in trouble. I really did it now. I'm going to need your help, lady. So please help me. So I did. And he's okay. I was using a whopper plopper. A whopper plopper if you don't know what a whopper plopper is, it is a topwater lure, and it's got a propeller on it. So it's really loud and obnoxious. It basically just like really ticks the fish off, you know. It's like loud, wants to get their attention, you know, just irritates them and gets their attention. It's kind of like a hula popper. So anyway, but yeah, that's what I was using, and I was casting out over and over again, and there was a dirt mound like on my right side, and I don't know if he couldn't see me or what. He didn't know I was there, but yeah, he swooped down, and man, he got snagged, and I just could not believe it. I'm like, what do I do? What am I supposed to do? I couldn't cut the lure off, you know. It's like, because he's going to get snagged in a tree with that thing in his foot. I mean, that was just the most surreal moment of my life, I think. But all is well. He's fine. He still hangs out in his tree, and, you know, he's still good. So anyway, but I'm glad that all of you all attended, and I hope that, you know, everybody can take something away from this program. I hope I didn't babble on too much.
Amanda,
Anyway,
No, thank you. Thank you, Amanda. Both of you all had a story to share. Both you and Al had a story to share with your respective families, right? I'll go on, stop sharing your slides. I'm going to share Andrew's.
Okay.
No, thank you. Thank you for sharing. And we'll hold questions until, but please feel free to go on and type questions in the chat now. Very interesting, and thank you for all the practical information you shared. So, and Andrew, I'll let you take it over.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Andrew Wooldridge. I'm a conservation educator with Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife. Just a little bit of background, I am part of the R3 program, which stands for Recruit, Retain, and Reactivate. So essentially, our program is trying to recruit new hunters and anglers, keep the ones we got, and bring old users back. So obviously, getting poles across the state for people is going to help do that. I focus on, of course, the aquatic side and fishing. We also have a hunting side, and we do hunting and fishing basic courses. And if this is something that you'd even want to host at one of your libraries, you can just reach out to me, and I'll get you to the right person if you want to do the hunting side. So let's go on and get rolling here. So the Loner Pole program was kind of like our start of our brainchild in 2020. When we had time to sit there and think, when we couldn't run our classes that we normally have, 20 people at, trying to teach them how to fish. All adults, of course, is what we focus on. We were thinking, let's get fishing equipment for education and recreation purposes to the general public. How can we do this? What places? Everywhere in the state. So the first things we were like, oh, extension offices and libraries. Every county's got a library. So that's how we kind of came with this brainchild. And then so like I mentioned, we also have this program running with extension offices too. So some of your counties that have extension offices will probably have poles as well. So that's another option. If you need more or you don't have enough to loan out, you can send them to their local extension office as well. So the goals of the program from our perspective as the department is to just increase fishing opportunity for the general public, provide the equipment they need or that a group would need. So say you've got a Boy Scout group that needs poles for their camp out that weekend. Like, instead of myself having to drive all the way to McCracken County, I can be like, hey, go see Amanda at the library. She'll get what you need, which, trust me, I've done it before. It's a lovely drive, but I don't want to do that every other day. So, and then just increase our reach across the state. That way we can be everywhere all at once. There's only 2 of us to cover the whole state, so it gets a little hard. And then to recruit new anglers is our next goal. So we want that education purpose. So of course, anyone 16 and older has to have that license, and that's the group we target. So if you decide you want to join this program with us, the materials you'll be getting is first you'll get this cool little binder right here, which it's funny because Amanda does not have this yet because Brent hasn't got it to her. Brent works with us as well, but he's our shooting access coordinator. But he's the halfway point guy. So I was trying to get it to him to her, so I'll have to shoot him an email. So you'll get this little binder, and once you open it up, it's got a checkout protocol sheet for you guys to reference for us. It's just general stuff. It's got my contact information and my associate Easton's contact information. You get a sign in and out page. So essentially all we would want from that is this person checked out this many poles, and that's essentially it. And it's also for your guys' records as well. That way, if something goes wrong, you know who had them. And then when they return the poles, we just want to know, did they have an event? How many people showed up? How many kids, their ages, all that good stuff. Just very basic stuff, nothing too crazy. We do that for our federal reporting so we can get more money to provide more equipment. So it's kind of essential, which I've been texting my boss in this meeting, and she was talking about the barcodes that Amanda and them use, which a lot of the libraries have asked. It's like, this could be a good way to get some data. We'll have to talk to these people about this. But also, to cover a lot of the stuff Amanda brought up as well, within this binder, there's a half sheet kind of checklist thing that the participant will get. So it has a checklist of, I borrowed this many rods and reels. I borrowed this many tackle trays. So make sure they have that checklist when they return it. And it's also got a QR code to videos that we've put together that cover all the basics that they would need to know. How to tie a knot, how to rig their poles, how to cast, if they have issues with the rod and reels, the basic quick checks, troubleshooting kind of things. that kind of all that good stuff. So the things you would get from us as the department was you'd get some Zepco push button rods and reels, which you kind of think of what you used as a kid. That's what we would give. I normally shoot for 20 at each library. Now, like Amanda said, if you can't house that many, I can let you have as many as you want. I had one library ask for 10 because they didn't have the space for 20. It's perfectly fine. You guys know your area and your programs, what will work best. You'll get like a nice little tackle tray that'll be stocked with sinkers, split shots, hooks, and bobbers. And yes, our cool little bobbers with the Kentucky on them. I enjoy those too. Those are pretty neat. I would give you 2 of these, so you can use them however you guys see fit. If you want to build little tackle kits out of them for an individual, or my thought process was if you have 20 rods and reels, you send 10 to this one group, you give them a tackle tray, 10 to this other group, you give them a tackle tray. So other things we can provide are those little pre-made tackle kits. If you need more line or any of these other items, again, you just let me know and we can send you that. We also have a cool little fishing game called Backyard Bass that we can loan out. That's plastic fish that use casting weights. And the library in Mercer County use these a lot, and it was a big hit with the kids because you can do it in a parking lot, in a grassy field. Probably done it at the farmer's market too, Amanda, and got some good action out of that. Now, the cool thing about these fish is that we have it set up where we have fish on the bottom for the kids or participants to ID in reference to a poster. So they catch a bluegill, they're looking at this fish, they can go to this poster and be like, oh, it's a bluegill. So we help build fish ID. Now, I've also had libraries put a book title on the bottom of the fish from a reading list, and then whatever fish was caught, that's the book that that child had to read off the reading list. So I thought that was a pretty clever idea as well. So there's that. Now, a lot of the general questions I've gotten from the 9 libraries I already have in the program was licenses. Are we responsible for them having licenses? The answer is no. You will not be held accountable if this person does not have a license. You can tell them, hey, if you're over 16, you need a license. You can log on to the department's website, which is fw.ky.gov. You can even do it from your phone and purchase a fishing license. Now, they can do a 1-day license or a year license. It's up to them. Of course, the 1 day is cheaper, and if they're just going to go that 1 day to test it out, I would suggest that. It takes a lot of that pressure off. So like the numbers, all I need is that binder filled out, or if the barcode system ends up working for everybody, we might go to that. But I would need that once a year. So all those pages, I could either come pick them up from you directly, or you could scan them and send them to me. It's really whatever works best. I want this program to be as simple for you guys as possible. I want it to just be like a checkout and they bring it back. It's done. Now, lost or stolen items. As part of the deal of joining the program, you are not responsible for anything that's lost or stolen. If somebody does not bring back a couple of rods and reels, you can choose to contact them, as many times as you guys would like to be like, hey, please return the equipment. But if you don't want to try to do that, I can contact them directly and be like, hey, you borrowed this equipment from this library. Can you please return it? And we'll handle it from there. But until then, I'll just replace what they have with brand new stuff. If you just have a couple broken ones, you let me know. I'll send more out to you, so you don't have to worry about that. If you just need more for a bigger event, I can drop off extra and then come pick them back up. We can do that kind of stuff. Just general stuff. You need more line, you need more of this, just feel free to ask. Or if you've got a weird request like, hey, can I get some fillet knives to teach people how to fillet fish? I've got some I can loan out, and I can even bring some demo fish for you to use for that. So got lots of different options in these programs. I've had some libraries ask about advertising. On my end, from the department's perspective, I will have a page that will list all the locations, and I'll put that on our Learn to Fish page. So if somebody's searching the internet and they come on our page to the Learn to Fish page, and they'll see like, oh, my library has poles I can borrow. So they would come to the library to check them out. This program does not have an end date. So if I bring you the poles, you can keep them as long as you want. If you find out it's not really the best for your area, I can come pick them back up. It's no big deal. Which Amanda's had them a long time now, so, and they even bought more. She brought up the locations to fish. On that same website, we have an application that you guys could look up locations to fish that are close to you. That way, if you want to determine if this is a program you'd like to pursue, because I know some places there's like one pond within 10 miles of the library, and sometimes that's not the best draw. But most of the libraries I have are around the major lakes so far, so it makes perfect sense. There's lots of opportunities. Yeah, so there's, just post in the chat, the FINS program. So those are local lakes owned by the city that we manage the fish populations in. So we'll stock them every month. They're great little places, especially for families, because, you know, if they want to, they can fish for a little bit. If the kids get bored, they can go play on the playground. You know, keep it going like that. So the checkout options, so I've had libraries ask for barcodes. Are they allowed to do that? How are they allowed to track them? To me, it's whatever works best for you guys. If the barcode system works easier for you, go for it. If it doesn't, that's fine. You don't have to loan out to an individual person if you don't want to. You only want to do groups, that's fine. You can do both. I'm very flexible because you guys know your users better than I do. I want this program to fit to you, not just me telling you I want it done this way all the time. So, yeah, like I said, we offer basic fishing classes. If you think that would be a program your library needs, we could come out and host a fishing 101 course through the Hook and Cook program, where we teach everything from how to tie the knot to casting. What do I do when I catch a fish? How do I keep my fish? And then if that program takes off good, we can do a full-blown Hook and Cook course where we come out. We'll do that kind of that same thing again, but we'll bring demo fish with us, and we'll learn how to fillet them and try to cook some too. So we have a little fish fry there as well. So, but yeah, it's about the program in a nutshell. I'm open to questions. I'm still learning what everybody needs and what they like and don't like about the program. And there's always an interesting question in every one of these presentations I do. So.
Thank you, Andrew. So if you've got a question, please feel free to type it in the chat. I actually have a question for Amanda about the rack that she has out that's in the public space. Where did you order that from, or what company, or what can you tell about that?
Well, I can't get my chat to work, but we just ordered ours from Amazon.
Okay. No, that's fine.
How do I get my chat to turn on?
Let's see. Are you able to, you see the chat bubble?
I do, to the right, yeah.
Okay, you click on the purple button on the right, and then the chat bubble is the far of that screen there. Chat bubble's on the left. It looks like a little bubble with, yeah, like a speech bubble. Can you click on there?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And then do you see the box that says say something?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's okay for you just to talk. We can, if that's okay with you.
It says chat, but it says find someone to chat with, but it's not, it won't let me do anything.
Okay.
I don't know.
If you're all right with just speaking, that's okay with.
Yeah,
with
that's
us.
fine. That's fine.
Okay.
No, we ordered it. We just got it from Amazon. It was, I don't know, it wasn't very expensive. I want to say it was around it was under $35. The floor rack was, yeah, $30 to $35, and I think the wall rack was around $20. So
Okay.
they weren't very expensive.
Okay.
I know most of your sporting goods stores sometimes carry those in stock if you wanted to get one like that, if your library wasn't comfortable ordering stuff offline.
Right.
I've even seen Walmart have them a few times as well.
The floor, I tell you what though, the floor rack ones, that one, you touch one of those rods and they all shift.
Yeah,
It's
I've got one
oh
that I
my,
use personally like that, and it gets real fun sometimes.
oh my gosh, you're always adjusting it. So you might want to get one that's like square, or one that's like, you know, taut against the wall that's flat, because the round ones, it's like, yeah, they all move. So
No, excuse me. I was just we've gotten a question in the chat about libraries that are doing this program. And that would, of course, Amanda, that would be to you, but anybody else who how are you having patrons show their fishing license?
are we having them? No, we can't really, I don't think we're at liberty to ask for it necessarily. So we've had them come here and print them off. We've helped them do that. But yeah, other than they haven't showed them to us. So
Okay. No, thank you. That helps.
Yeah, I don't see. To me, that's not an issue with the library. I mean, I would always suggest like, hey, make sure you have your license, and do you need to get one? You can use our computers here or get it from your phone. You know, like.
right.
Basically, my thought process is get them to the library to get these polls and the extension office as well, and then you guys can help guide them to the other resources you guys offer as well.
Mm-hmm. Right.
No, I see who asked that question. That's Kayla, and I'll see her tomorrow morning when I drop off polls to her library.
A good question. Thank you, Kayla, for asking. I'm gonna I think I've put in the links about the different fish and wildlife. I'm going to drop this link about the McCracken County Public Library's Fishing Pole Loaner Program in here, so you all
They can even. I'm sorry. They
no,
can even go to Walmart, and even around here, our Walmart, you can go to Walmart and get your get your fishing license. And there's all kinds of different places that you could. The sporting goods stores, you can get your fishing license. But if they want, while they're here, I do ask them, do you have your fishing license? I try to stress that. So, I don't ask for it, but it's like, while you're here, make sure if you don't have one, you really need to get one. Hint, hint. So, and we've got the public computers here. Even if, so you might want to go print one off. It's not very expensive. So there's that. And, oh, okay, that's a good idea. So that sort of thing. Just to try to initiate, put that thought in their head.
Sure. Any other questions? Or Andrew, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. That was my thought process, the same as hers. Is we've got all the resources right here to get it, and like she said, it's at Walmart too. So most likely, if they check out these polls, they're going to need bait as well, because we won't provide that, and that would be a very hectic thing for the library to provide. So most likely, wherever they buy their bait, they'll also sell the licenses in person as well. So I think if you mention it, you would be fine. But I will not require a library to make sure that every person who borrows a pole has a license. That's just not a responsibility you have, or that I even have the authority, I think, to ask. That's more of our officers. So
we're not the game warden.
Yeah. So
any other questions? I do want to say the extension agent who has worked with Andrew was not able to be here today. Her name is Ashley Osborne, and I'm going to put her email in the chat too. In case she said to folks were welcome to email her. She works with 4-H and extension 4-H at the extension office at UK. But I'm going to put her information here in the chat. So if you have questions related to 4-H, or you can of course contact your local extension agent, but Ashley wanted me to share her contact too. So I'll put that in there. And Kimberly has asked a question. I don't know, Andrew, if you've seen that.
Yeah, I was reading it as you were saying it.
Okay, sure.
I've done enough Zooms and stuff. I know to keep that chat open. There's always questions. Yes, I will come to a library and lead an in-person program, I would like it to be adult focused or even family focused would be fine. So, one adult with one child kind of programs. Yeah, I'll definitely come. If we can get 10 or more, we can get on the schedule.
And you had mentioned the hook and cook.
Yep, hook and cook
That
is
would be
our fish. Yep.
that would be just adults, or is that
Well,
families
I'm
too?
fine with it being family oriented as well.
Okay.
The way I see them is the adults, the kids are great, and I love taking kids, and there's nothing more fun than seeing a kid catch their first fish. But if that kid goes back home and the family doesn't fish, the kid's not going fishing again. So if I can teach the parent with the kid, now they have this thing they can go do together because the parent can drive, the parent can pay for the bait and the rods and reels. So
You all do a kayak program too, don't you?
yes, we do offer a kayak fishing course as well. So you get the basic fishing part, so such as like our fishing 101 course is what I tend to teach. And then we do some basic kayaking stuff, and then we would put you on the water in kayaks with the rods and reels to try to fish as well. So that is another program we offer as well.
That's fantastic.
So,
And
and then
for
we've
some-
got the mirror program, Field to Fork, that does all this for hunting as well. So if your area is big in hunting and you think some of those programs would be good too, I can definitely get you in touch with them as well. So
I've just put Amanda and Andrew's contact information. If you think of questions too later that you want to ask either one of them. But Andrew, certainly, he has been very willing to communicate with me, so I appreciate both of you all, your support with this. And I think, yes, any kind of programs that with hunting or helping people understand the opportunities, and then what regulations and what the benefits can be too.
oh yeah.
Also, I need to add one thing also. Okay, when I was talking about when Hillary, when you and Andrew and I were talking the other day, you need to with the rod and reels from Andrew, you need to stress that these rod and reels are for like panfish. They're for smaller fish like crappie and bluegill and sunfish. They're not like, you don't want to go aiming for a channel cat or a 10-pound bass. You don't want to load them down with a lot of weight, like some of my patrons have, and
Thank
they
you.
come and brag about it. So,
Oh, thank you, Amanda, for bringing that up. Yes, so these are for smaller fish, not the heavier
Right.
weight fish.
that's why we went and purchased some additional poles, some additional rods because of that. Because these, so many people were like, well, they kept talking about, oh, I went catfishing at the river, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you can't do that. That's not what these rods are meant for. So and we've had to separate the two, their rods and reels from ours, and which we haven't really. We're trying to figure out a way to, keep the two separate and trying to. We just got these, so we're trying to we really haven't advertised the ones meant for bigger fish yet, but we're trying to figure out a way to. But they keep, people keep talking about, I went and fished for big fish this weekend, and I'm thinking, oh my goodness, you all are going to destroy these rod and reels. And so that's why I say to stress that these are meant for, for panfish. That's what they're intended for.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Andrew, did you want to say anything more about that?
Well, I mean, I don't know exactly what we can or can't do, and Rachel Crew, my branch manager, is on here. I assume if that request is high enough in an area, we could probably purchase a couple of beefier setups for that kind of fishing if that's something that people would want to try. I think we could probably work that out. Plus, we get some stuff that's donated from people that can no longer fish, or they had a family member who passed away that no longer uses that equipment and they don't want it. So sometimes we get donations like that I think we could hand out to people if they wanted to try that kind of stuff.
Oh, good to know.
Yeah.
Well, please continue to feel free to ask questions. I'm going to actually share our slide up to thank the LSTA for the Institute for Museum and Library Services, who has provided the opportunity for this webinar. They provide the resources that allow this webinar to happen. And I also want to let you all know that I'm putting a link to a survey in the chat, and we appreciate any feedback that you can give about that too. So that just helps us do webinars like this and do things that are going to be of interest to you and learn from how we can do things better. So please feel free to share your comments in that survey. Any other questions for Andrew or Amanda or me? I'll be glad to help as best I can too. Thank you both, Andrew and Amanda, and for Rachel for being here, for sharing this great information and this opportunity.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
I'll leave this open just a little bit longer, so folks want to talk with you all or have questions. If you don't mind hanging out a couple more minutes, that would be great. And but thank you all again so much. Folks, if anybody came in late and has a question, feel free to ask now too. I'm going to stop the recording.